Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We back at Amberland. I'm your host, Amber North. We in this thing. Gave you my full name and everything. Yo, I'm going to be juiced up. We'll go ahead and let you know now. Call me Omar. Because, yeah, I got the juice. Or maybe I'm Tupac. Nah, I'm just kidding. His character scared me as a kid. He was like, you know what? You right. I am crazy. I was like, ee. So, not the point. I went for a walk today at the park, and it was really dope because I realized that the goal, because they had ever since COVID, the basketball courts just was aggressively shut down. Like, they just took the hoop down and the nets. They're like, nope, just going to be straight backboard. Not anymore, at least not in my neighborhood, man. My neighborhood park is backing up, baby. Like I was in, because it's during the day, nobody was at the court. So I noticed it, took my black ass back home and came back with a basketball, and I just shot for an hour. It was amazing, especially because I was touching up on shots that I know how to do, little floaters, I'll say a little jump shot, you feel me? But I never had a 3-point game, so I just shot 3-pointers for like 30, 45 minutes straight. Actually, about 45 minutes, because the first 15 minutes, I was just getting it, taking the rust off. But then I started shooting them threes, and yeah, it was not bad. For as long as I played basketball, and that's ever since I was 11. Well, I started playing when I was 10, but I played first organized team was my co-ed team when I was in sixth grade, and I was a starting center. So I always was a post player, even when I was the same height ever since I was 11. So I thought I was gonna be about 6 feet at least. Nope. So got these long limbs and a short torso. It's such a very, very odd combination. But anyways, so I shot 3-pointers, man. Like, I just never had a 3-point shot. I would either airball them or just straight brick them. And I made about 12 of them today. That was the most ever in my lifetime. I only made it twice ever. The first time was when my very first game ever, and I shot the game winning. Well, it wasn't game winning. It was just buzzer beater. And I shot at the buzzer 3-pointer, and it was all backboard. It was awesome. It was a bank shot. But my foot was on the line, so I didn't count that. So really the only time I made a 3-pointer was when I played, it was just like last year actually, like last fall when I played. It was like 3-on-3 basketball, and I was the only woman on the court. It tends to happen. Typically am usually, so I just talk so much shit. And yeah, I was really shocked that I made it. So today, I was making them shits. It was awesome. Like, it just felt good. Maybe I'm just inspired by where the NBA is headed now. The long ball, like, we got logo Dame, and then we got logo Steph Curry. Like, they both shooting from the half court like it's nothing. And I was like, let me see if I could do some of these at least, just right behind the arc. And I made them. I was very, very pleased. I was hooping and hollering. Like, it wasn't just me by myself, cheering for myself. Because that's how it's supposed to be. You got to root for yourself first, player and play by. So, yeah, man, that shit was dope. I'm very, very pleased with that. Got a 3-point shot game, y'all. That's the only shot I'm shooting this summer. It's going to be non-girl summer, as in N-U-N. I'll be assisting my homegirls being hoes, but me, I'm out. Y'all be out there in the streets thotting. I'm going to be out in these streets sleeping in them sheets at home at 10 p.m. with a bonnet on my head. You ain't going to be stressing me out. Ain't no hot girl summer over here, bro. So... seriously. So DMX, rest in peace, bro. When I recorded last week, he was still on life support. They had since pulled the plug because they don't let black people on life support that long. Look at Tupac. Going back to Tupac, he was on life support for like a week. But then we have it's just so crazy because you have these types of situations, and then you have situations like Terry Schiavo, who I mean, they were fighting for her right to be on life support for forever. I mean, I noticed some comedian, she's been on my show too. Shout out to Tia Kamnika. She made a really great point. She's like, why is it with these, these with white people? It's like they're on there forever and ever, and they end up waking up with miracles. But with us, it's like, nah, we don't want no miracles with them. Let's just let them die. Very good point. I mean, especially when it comes to rappers. I mean, DMX was 50, which is, I mean, a lot of rappers died before then. I mean, we've had a lot of rappers die before fucking 22, 23. We got Pop, like Pop Smoke and Juice WRLD. But, yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, granted, he was in as they say, a vegetative state, but you never know. And then, of course, Hotep Twitter came out with he didn't die from overdose. Think, brothers and sisters, it was that vaccine that he took. It was that, goddamn it, hell, the experimental vaccine, the same one that killed Hank Aaron. It's like, guys, just relax. Though we'll talk about vaccines later. But yeah, and then there was the rumor where they said Jay-Z and Beyonce bought his masters and they gave it to his family, his daughters specifically, his children specifically. That is not true. And they're also not selling any merch because I guess there was rumors that the family was trying to sell merch to raise money for his funeral. All kinds of shit. I mean, I guess it was someone who's been scamming and been betraying themselves as the family, but there's always some bullshit that comes out. It's just, why we gotta be acting donkeys, you know what I'm saying? But needless to say, rest in peace, Earl Simmons. Ever since you were 14, you be battling the same demon. I mean, when you're 14 and someone gives you a blunt that's laced with crack, it's just, they wanted to see you fail from the jump because that's when he started rapping around that time. So, I mean, it's a sad situation. It's so many broken black people, man. Like, white supremacy did a really great job, man. They put a number on our asses, yo, because I mean, whether it's, making sure our black asses stay in them ghettos and with liquor stores around, every corner, dialysis clinics around, just as much. Like, we know what y'all doing. I'm going to talk about that shit too later, just racial infrastructure. Like, everything's coded, man. It's fucked up, it's just, you can't tell me that COINTELPRO is not alive and well, and you can't tell me that the new Black Messiah in their mind are rappers. You can't tell me that shit. Like, what became big after that shit so-called got disbanded in the 70s? What started? And mind you, the war on drugs, it became at its peak. It got heightened, right? When the jazz, when the jazz musicians started, when it was clear, when it became known that they were smoking grass and doing heroin, but they were still succeeding and living the lavish life that these broke ass cops could never. Once jazz dissipated, what became derivative of it? And then, which was the funk, right? It was funk musicians, and of course, funk musicians did a lot of dope too. I mean, George Clinton, he'll never see his royalties because he signed that shit away because he was high. So after funk, what comes after that? Right. Hip hop, dibby, hip poppy, you don't stop rock. Mind you, disco now. Same fucking situation. Studio 54, cocaine dens galore. But that's okay because that's sophisticated. We could even advertise cocaine in magazines, bitch, because it's sophisticated. Only rich white people do that shit, so of course. So what happens in the 80s? Oh, you know what? These black people getting too bougie again. They getting the same type of drugs we getting because they can afford it. What we gonna do now? Oh, baking soda. So it just keeps going. But hip hop, I mean, it transcends with the times. But like you see the pattern, and it's always some shit that they target against hip hop musicians and rappers. It's always something. Where it's guns, drugs. It's always something. So anyway, that's the type of shit that, like, that environment already. Like, they're already, a lot of these, even basketball too. That's why it's such a correlation. But with basketball, it's clean cut because you can't do drugs, right? So, therefore, these niggas get even more scrutinized because they got to be role models to these whack-ass suburban kids because their parents don't want to raise their ass. So, it's just like, but with rappers, though, you get to be bad guys. You get to be the bad guy. You get to, flirt with the law and shit like that. And they don't like that shit. So, therefore, of course, they're going to be called the new black messiahs in their eyes. Of course, we don't think that way, but these racist cocksuckers do. So, yeah. Fuck them. And pardon me for using that term. I just feel like these dudes be choking on their own cocks. They be sucking their own dicks. So thus they get called that. But we're gonna move right along because I just came in hot and I didn't even mean to. So I made a return to comedy. Speaking of coming in hot, it was pretty rad. I had a really great time. I posted a clip on both of my social media, and it was really, really cool. I had a really great time. Got a little change from it. Nothing like, I'll take any payment at this point. I'll talk about that later as well. Not any payment. I'm talking about cash, like as far as like money goes. But yeah, the return was great. I went to Pont City Market. It was dope. Shout out to Alex Libby for giving me the spot. It's a really fun show. Shout out to the 5 black people that came in deep. They came in 5 deep. It was some black people there too, but then it was this one group in particular that came 5 deep. And I was like in the middle of doing my set, and then I was like, hey! Then I started singing Bia Bia. Remember that song? Bia Bia! So yeah, that was fun. Anytime I can be a nigga, it's gonna be a good time. Cause y'all can't escape it, man. We in Atlanta, baby. So what wasn't in Atlanta, it was in Virginia. This racist ass shit. So Joe Gutierrez, the racist ass cop who literally came for Caron Nazario, who is a black Latino cop. And this guy, it was weird. I don't know what this was about, but this dude, the other cop was Latino. The one who was being an asshole, also Latino. So I don't know what the fuck was that about, but he was white Latino. And that's the thing. That shit happens, man. Sometimes they be racist as fuck too. And this dude right here, Joe Gutierrez. If y'all haven't seen the video, I don't ever watch these types of videos because I'll always be upset. But this just so happened to be on in the living room, and it was a different angle, and it was the angle from Nazario's perspective. That was rough. That dude, there's never a reason. There's no justification ever for this type of brutality. But this dude was like, I couldn't have, actually any of these examples, they've all been examples of, they literally did nothing wrong. But for some reason, this is like, well, it's always fucked up when they, even with George Floyd, like, they're all fucked up. And I'm glad that Caron Nazario, he's alive. But this dude, Gutierrez, this nigga gotta go. I mean, he got fired, but it's like, nah, he can't get away with that shit. I mean, he threatened to kill him. He said, "You gonna see the lightning," which is that's a slang term for execution. Is like the lightning, nigga. What? All this dude did was, I mean, I guess he just. I mean, that was. I'm trying to figure out why was he still even pulled over. I guess because he had new tags, but he pulled into a well lit BP. Like, it was well lit. It was a gas station. Like, all this shit was going down at a well lit gas station. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then the other guy, he was young. He looked confused and scared, but because he's a cop, he didn't want to look like no asshole. So it was the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. Not really, because I mean, there's always some fucked up shit. I won't say it's the most fucked up shit, but it was just bad. This dude was in full. I mean, he was in full military uniform, like full military uniform. I mean, you can feel how you feel about the war, but I'm very anti-war, but I've never seen. Well, now it's weird, when you go to the airport and everybody's like clapping for him and shit. That's a weird situation because they probably don't feel comfortable with that. But I just see them and I'm like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Like, I just see them and I'm like, oh, respect. I don't. There's never been a moment where I felt threatened by them. Like, when I see them, I'm like, I actually do feel. But shit, I mean, I let one of them shoot me in the arm. I'll get to that later. But seriously, I just don't understand. Like, just like last week when I was talking about immigrants, it's like I've never been around an immigrant and it was like, oh, I can't trust these motherfuckers. Same with the army peeps. Like, now Marines different, because I'm like, oh, these niggas kill. We cool. They all do, but it's like the Marines lead. And then, you got the Air Force. I mean, the Navy, all of them. I respect all of them. But it's just weird to, like, see them and see them as a threat. Like, if you're a cop and you don't, like, how do you not be like, yo, what up, playboy? Like, I don't understand. This dude was fucking with him hard, but then when he sprayed him in the face with pepper spray, nigga. Like, he need to get the Full Metal Jacket treatment, bruh. Like, this nigga need to wake up and have all kinds of bars of soap in a pillowcase coming at him. Like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, I know now I'm sounding like, where you at, G's? You ain't been G. But yeah, this shit wild. But the worst part about all this, there's so many connections to this shit. It's always connections to shit, right? So, Nazario, so he has a relative that was, I mean, he called Eric Garner his uncle, pretty much. So, like, he was close to Eric Garner. So he saw all that shit unfold in 2014, 7 years ago. And then 7 years later. And when that shit happened, he was told, if a police officer ever confronts you, you had to stay calm, comply, and never make them feel threatened. This dude was he was like, yes, sir. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Yes. Okay. He's like, honestly, I'm afraid to get out of the car. And the dude said, you should be. Bitch, what? Okay. And then 6 years after seeing a man that he called uncle get murdered by chokehold, 6 years later, he's mind his business, and then he goes into a well-lit BP. And this nigga just tormented him for what? And then he pepper spray him. And then when he's like, after he pepper spray, he's like, get out of the car. He's like, I can't see, motherfucker. So he yanks him out of the car, and then he was kneeing him. It's like, you got beef? Like, did he fuck your wife or something? Like, what is going on? What the fuck is this? These motherfuckers crazy, yo. These popos, they getting stupid. They just dumb, reckless, and fuck them. On to the next one. We got another hashtag. Because, I mean, it's fucked up as Nazario. That shit that happened with Nazario, he's at least suing them. I mean, he's only asking for $1 million. Not to say that, I mean, he probably is being realistic because he knows that's even if he gets sues the motherfuckers for $500 million, he knows he won't get more than $1 million probably. But he's alive at least. He's lucky. Who's not lucky is Dante Ray. He was only 20 years old and he had a kid. Like, a baby was not even 2, I don't think. 20 years old. He got pulled over because, well, they said he had a expired tag. Okay. They pulled him over because he had an air freshener dangling in the rear view. It's the law, but it ain't heavily enforced. So, this dude gets pulled over because he got a air freshener tree in the rear view. Why would that shit be even illegal? So that happens. Pull him over. This white fucking cunt, 26-year veteran, she shoots him once in the chest, claiming that she mistook her actual loaded gun for a taser. Even if it was a taser, you're gonna shoot him in the chest? Bitch. The fuck is this? Kim Potter. Like, that's her name. I'm glad they released her name fast. But you know that made the white feminists mad. It's like, oh, when a white woman does it, it's immediate persecution. But when a white man does it, they protect him. Bitch, y'all both, it don't matter. Y'all wrong. Wrong is wrong. It's so many lists now of things you can't even do while being black. You can't even eat in your own living room, eating ice cream. That's still, that bullshit. I thought that was my apartment. I thought that was my fucking taser. There's like a 2-pound difference. That's like, it's like this. Literally. This is the difference. This is the taser, right? Huh? This is the gun. How, you see, like how, you see what's, like how. That's the difference. How is that even possible to confuse the two? I'm so sick of these motherfuckers gaslighting the fuck out of us. It's such bullshit. Like, what the fuck? So you just stop hiring these incompetent motherfuckers then. This bitch has been on the force for 26 years and she don't know the difference between one that can kill and one that could just halt somebody momentarily. Get the fuck out of here. Your dumb mistake. Now this dude's dead for no fucking reason. This young man, he didn't even turn 21 yet. Like, what are we doing, man? Let me move on before I get... And this happened literally 10, 11 miles. This was in Minneapolis, right when the Chauvin fucking trial's going on. 10 or 11 miles away from each other. Like the Derek Chauvin trial down the street. This happened up the street like 10, 11 miles away. And then around the corner from fucking, like, also, it was like the radius. It's like a radius. Like the Philando Castile killing, George Floyd. And then, like, what's happening in Twin Cities, yo? Now we see why fucking Prince left. Actually, we've been done new. Shit. Kevin Garnett, why were you there for so long? I see why Starbury left. No. You know, when your takes are so high you can't even find a straw, where you gotta take a sip. Anyway. Oh, and the warrant that they had, fucking... So the warrant was he couldn't afford to pay $156 fine he got for having a joint back in 2019 when he was 18. Like, a joint. And it was during that time it was decriminalized, so they put a warrant out. Y'all can fuck off. I mean, it's just this type of these traffic stops that end fatally, and then all these brutalities and shit. It just reminds me of how I was always mocked. Not anymore, of course, but man, for like years and years and years, all my friends would be like, "Amber, why you don't drive, bruh? Man, why you don't drive?" And I'd be like, I can't fucking drive. I'm shitty. Like, I literally have, and I'm glad because like I've had a few wrecks or whatever. Before I don't even have my license, and I've had like a few wrecks. Luckily, not I didn't get in trouble for any of those, but yeah, like I'm too much of a space cadet. But really, I guess I was something inside of me was just like, nah, I'm not doing this shit because look at all this shit that keeps happening to us. It's all traffic related. Like, getting in the car is the easiest way. Being black and with a car is the easiest way to get targeted by these racist fucks. Get the fuck out of here. And don't have a nice car. They gonna always try to find a way to be like, oh, well, like, just, y'all won't catch me. Y'all just won't catch me in them licensed streets. I'm always have a state ID. But as far as, there might be a point in my life where I will, want to get behind the wheel, but maybe not. I don't think so. Because I don't have a fear of cops. Like, I've had run-ins with them, and I just don't, I'm like, it don't be pretty. Is all I gotta say. Like, it just don't. Like, it's like, let me just move on. So, I saw this tweet. Finding out that George Floyd's girlfriend was Daunte Wright's teacher reminds us that Fred Hampton's mom babysat Emmett Till. It's devastating to grasp the violence and collective trauma of systemic racism across families, communities, and generations, and know how little has changed. Cyclical targeting, cyclical racial tormenting is what I call it. It sounds like what it is. It's always some shit. They always keep targeting the same people, the descendants. I'm sure as soon as Fred Hampton Jr. was born, they kept an eye out on the mom and him and the son. Like, it's just, this country has no regard for our black asses, man. It's so fucked up and sad. Anyway, so I went to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium yesterday because I got my first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. I go back in 3 weeks for the second dose, and I hear the side effects are way worse. I didn't really experience any side effects. The only one I have right now is this arm is a little bit sore. That's where I got shot. And that's what I meant by I let someone from the army shoot me. But yeah, that's who's administering the shots are the army. So I don't know. I guess I see my dad when I see the army because my dad served for 3 years in Germany. So, and he got a pension from him. They take good care of him. So, and he says he has nothing but great things to say about it. He really had a good time during that time, but it was also during no conflict. It was thick in the 80s, the whole be all that you can be in the army. Yeah, like he was part of that. He was like, you know what, man? Boop, 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 boop. I'm in. They like, we need you. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. They were really nice. Yeah, I'm not going to be this person who's like, yeah, y'all should get vaccinated. I highly recommend it only if you are, we're dealing with the general public. I'm going to be doing, I'm back in stand-up comedy now. So, and I want to do that continuously because I've really been missing that. Like, I literally took a whole last year without doing it, but it was cool. It really felt good getting back in the groove very quickly. But yeah. I'm very, y'all know me. I talked about all kinds of experiments, that happened to us as black people, the Tuskegee, of course, and then the North Carolina's sterilization of black moms or black women in the 70s. Like, I'm very aware, but I'm also very aware of the times where I took polio shots, tetanus shots, and hepatitis C shots, and I was a kid and I couldn't do any research then, but I just don't see any different in that. Honestly, if it makes anyone feel better, the tetanus shot is still the worst one. Like, I still remember to this day how that shit felt. And because when I took that shit again when I was in high school, because it was like every 10 years maybe, bruh. Arms swollen both times when I was 5 and then when I was 15. It felt like they pumped lead in my system, but I was like, what the fuck is tetanus anyway? Like, we step on a nail type shit? Or is that gangrene? I think they're both. Who knows? But yeah, so I just don't. I mean, at least with the COVID shot, it's like, I mean, I'm still not gonna stop wearing a mask because y'all motherfuckers stupid. So, I mean, I don't want to infect anyone. It's the main thing, and also, again, I don't want to get that shit either. So if it helps, I'm not gonna say no. It's free, but I understand. I don't consider this a situation of vaxxing, anti-vaxxing, because certain children. I mean, there's certain things that children need to get vaccinated for, but I understand both sides for sure. And I understand if you do Moderna. I understand if you do Johnson and Johnson. I say do what you need to do, man. I mean, everybody has their reason. Everybody's got their something. And A-Rod, he's got his something too. Well, like, apparently he and J-Lo reconciled or something. I don't know. I don't know why we're so obsessed about celebrity relationships. Who gives a shit? But anyway, he and some motherfucker named Mark Lore, they're finalizing a deal to buy not only the Minnesota Timberwolves, but also the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx they're the ones who bring the titles in that city. They try to buy it for $1.5 billion. And then Anthony Edwards, who, actually, that's him right there. Let's see. Let me see if I can point. There we go. Boom. There he is right there. Boom. There he is, dunking on Watanabe for the Raptors, a.k.a. my favorite. I got my first issue of Slam magazine a couple of weeks ago, and I'll be damned if they included my favorite Slam that I've seen in a really long time with Anthony Edwards. But anyways, he was like, I don't know who that is. I know he's going to be the owner, but I don't know anything about baseball. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Who you, A-Rod? Shout out to my hometown in Nashville, Tennessee. Eddie George, who is he's pretty much an icon in Nashville. I fuck with Eddie George, man. He was he was with the Ohio State. I'm pretty sure he won the Heisman. Yeah, he won the Heisman when he was with the Buckeyes. Then he got drafted by the Titans. They were the Oilers. Ooh, the country comes out. But yeah, y'all, I ain't gonna say that word again. The Olas. Before that, yeah. So when they came to Nashville, I thought that was dope. And I remember when I saw Any Given Sunday on premiere night with my homegirl, and he was there. Eddie George was sitting in the lobby, just hanging out in the movie theater. I was like, yo, shit, Eddie George. But yeah, and also he had a restaurant back in the day, and to this day, still one of my all-time favorite chicken wings. Them wings were good as fuck. But yeah, Eddie George stayed. He's a big deal in Nashville because he stayed and he's done so many things for it. And now he's going to be coaching TSU, which is where my dad graduated. And my sister went there. She didn't graduate from there, though. She graduated from Austin P. And my brother went there. And then a lot of my homies who went to Weiss Creek ended up going to TSU. I fucks with TSU. I fucks with the TSU homecoming. It was always great. The Battle of the Bands. Just the blackest thing. I loved it. But yeah, he's going to be going to... He's coaching at TSU. He hasn't had any. This is his first time ever coaching. He hasn't had any prior experience, but he was an analyst for football for a while. But same with Deion Sanders. Like, he's at Jackson State, and that's cool. But Keyshawn Johnson, as he does, he be like, "Hey man, I don't know if I like that though." So yeah, Keyshawn Johnson, he made a really great point, and he said, why is it so easy for NBA players, once they retire, so easy for them to get jobs, but it's mainly white players, because Luke Walton was one, and Steve Nash, of course, like, they get these nice little jobs, these cushion jobs, as their first jobs, because yeah, I mean, Luke Walton, before he went to the Kings, he started out with the Lakers. And it's like, bro, how... Granted, he did play with the Lakers, and he was an assistant coach there, too. So, that makes a little sense. But they got rid of his ass quick. And so, he went to the Kings, and they're making their way in with De'Aaron Fox and them, and the rookie Tyrese Halliburton. But yeah, Keyshawn Johnson made a good point. Like, even because Steve Nash, his first job was with the Nets, so it's like, and then he was able to bring people. Like, he got Amari Stoudemire job too. So it's like that's a really good point. And then you got NFL players who not only do they not get a chance in the NFL, but they don't even get a chance really. Like, I mean, you got two standouts and their first jobs are with HBCUs. Granted, it could be strategic because they're trying to bring more talent and attention to HBCU programs, but Keyshawn Johnson made a good point. I mean, but we already know what it's like in the NFL. I mean, football, you can only do so much as a black person. You can really only play on the field. They don't want you working the field. I mean, it's some straight up slave shit. Like, you got the head coach as the master, and then you got assistant coaches as the overseer. So, I mean, yeah, NFL's pretty fucked up. Football in general, but yeah, we already know that story with that. Keyshawn Johnson made a good point, though. Now, ending on basketball before I get into the timeout. Jamal Murray is out with an ACL injury, so he probably won't be coming back until the next season because it's an ACL injury. It's pretty. I mean, that's pretty sad because he's been tearing it up. Well, lack of a better word, he's been ripping it up. Still not a good word. He's been killing it. Yeah, but now he's gonna be. I mean, that's pretty sad actually. Cause he's literally been. I mean, they got Jokic in them to keep the Nuggets going, but Murray was. I mean, he's a clutch motherfucker. He's incredibly clutch. So they're gonna be missing him in the playoffs. So I would just wish that man well. That's a real sad situation there. And he got a great floater game too. So, but he was taking it all the way to the hole, man. And yeah. Oh well. I mean, it's going to be the Lakers. So now we got Lakers, Jazz, and the Clippers, and the Suns. So, I mean, the Nuggets will probably still be contenders, though. But I don't know what they're going to do without Murray. I want to end on this really funny call. So, who's been now? This dude's been taking it to the hole with so much ferocity. And he's been killing it. But ever since LaMelo Ball's been out, ever since he's been out with a wrist injury, Miles Bridges been going hamski like this, bruh. And what's awesome is that because with NBA Pass, I discovered the local broadcasters, and I fell in love with Eric Collins and Del Curry as far as their play calling. I fell in love with their broadcast team instantly with the Hornets broadcast team. It's so exciting, and it's starting to be highlighted because the Hornets they've been having some really exciting games. They lost yesterday to the Lakers, but very close game. So listen to this shit.
Bridges! Oh my God! A thunderbolt from Bridges! Get Miles Bridges attack the shot blocker, and look at LaMelo. Oh my word! Just walk all over.
He said, "Tweedledee dee." That's fucking amazing. Yeah, shout out to them. Anyways, we're going to a timeout now. Let me take a little sippy sip and admire my makeup game right now and how it's matching. Hey, girl. No. All right, so the timeout goes to... I'm going to keep this incredibly brief because I don't really... It's not this... I mean... So, I quit my job this past weekend. I've been fired only once in my life, and that was 14 years ago. And yeah, this go around, never quit. I've always stuck it through. I was with this particular job for nearly 5 years, and I mean, I'm always working for at least a year wherever I work. there's only been one time in my life where I only worked for like a week. So anyways, it's been a long time coming. I mean, it was one of those things where some abusive shit would happen, and then the boss would apologize, and then I'd be like, all right, cool. And yeah, I mean, I just got tired of it, honestly. So because about 3 months ago, I walked out in the middle of a shift because I was so upset with how I was being spoken to and treated. And then there was apologies there. We dapped it up, and it all worked out fine. And I came back, no problem. Well, things was cool, whatever, but we brushed, we touched on it, and then we moved on. Well, this past weekend, I don't know, there was like some underlying resentment or what. I don't know if they were low-key upset because I'm starting to do comedy again, and they know that I'm going to need to work less hours. I don't know what the fuck the issue was, especially because I consider this person a friend, but I need to, it's on me. That's my fault for thinking that, because here's the thing. Just because you know a motherfucker for a long time does not make them your friend. That doesn't mean they're your fucking acquaintance. That doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean they want to acquaint themselves with you. They don't want to do anything other than use you for what you're good for. And that's to work for them, and that's it. And that's really what that was about. And I have no hard feelings towards this person, but it is what it fucking is. And what it is what it ain't. And that's friendship. So, because friends don't treat people like this, right? And nor do good bosses. So yeah, just certain things I'll never tolerate. I will never tolerate someone saying this to me. You only had one job. Don't ever, never in my fucking life will that be okay. And I know I'm not alone in thinking this. Like, certain things just don't need to be let slide, or let slid, however you want to say it. Bottom fucking line is, know how to talk to people, know how to treat people, and that's just it. And people will respect you, and they will do things for you without any issue. But to take out unresolved issues that you got going on the people that have been there for you, that's some weak shit. And all I can say is God don't like ugly, and he sure ain't happy with pretty. So we're going to just move right along. And I will also say this. I would rather struggle while looking for a new job than waking up every day and feeling like I got a big old weight on my shoulder. And then on top of that, I go there on time every fucking day. And then on top of that, I've been a very reliable person to work with. And on top of that, people fucked with me hard. Like, I had regulars. I had people who became regulars at my show. So all good things have come out of this, including my resignation. So, and I say this to say that there's always a way. God will find a way, man. If you have faith, live off that. I'm just blessed that I've been in the city long enough to feel that I know some people got my back, and I got family that got my back. But no, who didn't have my back was the person I was working for, and I've known this person for over 10 years. So, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, just because you know someone for years, decades even, does not mean that they're your friend or your acquaintance. There's just some people that was part of your path in your journey to being a better person. So I wish that person well, and I told them that, and yeah, and they were like, "You'll be missed." I'm like, I guarantee you, you're right. You will be missing me. It's not the other way around, because I don't have to tolerate abusive behavior. So take care now. Also, I will say this to people who frequent restaurants, y'all need to fucking cool your jets. Like these people, like most of the restaurants that's go, like a lot of them are dealing with so much shit right now. A lot of like the things that you're used to as far as, oh, they're out of brown sugar, oh, they're out of almond milk, oh, they're out of this, that, and the other. Yeah, there's a fucking shortage because we're in a fucking pandemic still. Like, don't get upset because the Starbucks doesn't have the little stores, you know, like little shit that you never really needed, but you feel like you do now because you entitled as fuck. Like this whole entitled situation, like one of the last things that, and I'm just done with restaurant, like in general, man, because people are just fucking wilding right now. And one of the last straws, aside from being mistreated as fuck, was when this guy called. Of course, he was white, and he was like, "Are you guys open for full service?" So I was like, "I mean, we're open. Yeah, we have dine-in, and then you can sit on the patio too if you want, but it's still, you know, limited seating or whatever inside." He's like, "Yeah, but I mean, do you have full service, like waiters and waitresses?" And I was like, well, it's counter service, but I'm thinking, why the fuck does that matter? like a lot, and I realized, oh, a lot of these entitled motherfuckers come out to eat because they just don't want to do anything. They just want to be treated like kings and queens, and that's all. They want people to serve them, like for an hour, because they can't afford maids and servants or whatever and butlers and shit. They can at least go out to eat and get that treatment for an hour, and then they leave and thinking that they're hot shit. That shit's stupid to me. Like I go out to eat, you know, and I just get my food and I take my black ass home. Yeah, there's an experience, you know, you're going out on a date, that's cool, but still it's like you can go out on a date and not torment the staff. Like some people really think that shit's cute to be total dicks when they go out to eat. So I don't miss any of that. And also come fuck with me if you got leads on jobs, because I'm sticking to writing. I'm done with this restaurant bullshit. I mean, I don't want to say I don't ever want to work at restaurants again, but I am saying I'm pretty much tapped out. Like I've been doing this, like I did it part-time, you know, and then I've been doing it full-time for like 10 years. So I'm pretty burnt out. So I don't have the patience for it anymore. And I definitely don't have a patience for these megalomaniac motherfuckers they call chefs. Like these chefs, man, it's like, that's great that you mix fucking mascarpone with pistachio on lasagna or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool that you made sweet and savory taste delicious. That's cool that you foraged some fucking mushrooms and turned it into a mushroom Philly. I don't give a fucking shit. You are not God, and you never will be. So get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't understand where these motherfuckers come with these God complexes. Like, chill the fuck out because you know how to use fucking carbon monoxide as dry ice or whatever. No, I'm just talking shit. But still, it's like, yeah, you're hot shit because you can make some dope food, but who the fuck are you? Like, chill. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I've met so many fucking megalomaniacal, I can't even say it. But you know what? So, megalomaniac, they're, like I said, it's just God complex. That's pretty much the main trait. Like, you can't tell them shit. They're right about everything. And that's just a lot of the times I've dealt with that shit, and I'm done. Like, a lot of these motherfuckers just don't know how to work with people, and they whine a lot. So just, everybody just fucking chill out. All right. And then this whole, like, and that's the thing going back. It's like, because of this shit, you know, because, I mean, ever since I've been, you know, starting with sports, you know, it's like we deal with those types of personalities, you know. I mean, I've dealt with that my whole life. It's always those types of personalities that I've dealt with because of the fields that I've worked in. And I can say, man, I've let too much of that shit slide, so I don't need to keep having these toxic motherfuckers in my life, man. Toxic people are interesting, and that's the bottom line, and that's why we end up fucking with them, because they're interesting as shit, and they know how to charm us and manipulate us. So, oh, that's gone. Bye. Fuck always taking the high road too, man. Just tell them niggas fuck off. All right, let's go to the brick. Guess who the brick is? You already know who it is. Kim Potter. Fucking dumb twat. twat. What the fuck? Ugh, what a dumb bitch, bro. Like, you been on the force 26 years and you don't know the... Again. How is this... How can you confuse the two with the weight? Get out of here. You better off admitted you a racist ass bitch than that shit. All right, let's go to the swish. Let's get some happiness in here because I've been kind of on a roll. So, the swish goes to Hideki Matsuyama. He is the first ever Japanese pro golfer to win a major golf tournament, and that first being the Masters. Hell fuck yeah, he got the green jacket. What's funny though is like the viral photo after that when he was at the Atlanta, he was just at Hartsfield Jackson. I'm always calling it the airport. I never really actually. So yeah, the Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta. He was there. Someone photographed him just chilling, looking on his phone. He had the Masters jacket casually draped over one of the chairs. Like, nigga was chilling. It was amazing. He was so confident that no one would know who the fuck he was. It was awesome. So yeah, shout out to Hideki Matsuyama, man. That's dope as fuck. And I mean, they doing it. That's dope. Because the Masters is white as fuck. And it's called the Masters. So, and it's on a golf course in Augusta. A lot of acres. What do you think that golf course was before then? Plantation. All right, so the highlight reel. I don't know what made me think of this, but... I'm glad. I don't know. I just thought of it, and I was like watching some of the old scenes from it. So, High Fidelity, the movie, not the show, the movie, starring John Cusack, Jack Black, and Lisa Bonet's in there a little bit. That movie is the reason why I'm sad. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so the movie is about this sad sack of shit, pretty much, who finally comes to grips to why he's always heartbroken. And it opens with another breakup, yet another breakup that he had in his life. And it was it was like one of many breakups that it prompted him to do a top 5 all-time breakup list. And then he yells out to the woman who just left him, "If you really wanted to mess me up, you should have got to me sooner." And then, of course, he starts with 14. When he was 14, he said ever since then, it's just been a fragmented version of the same heartbreak. And I feel like that's just... that's dating heterosexual men in a nutshell, probably. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of us are like, when we meet a man that we like, a lot of us are competing with the bitch who hurt him when he was 12. So I don't know, man. It's just, oh God. I don't even want to make this a battle of the sexes type situation. I just, I don't know, bro. Like, I just don't understand why some of y'all, why we all like this. Honestly, we all just some sad sacks of shit that, I don't know, man. But this movie, like, it was so triggering because I was like, dang. Because I've seen this movie so many times. And I don't know if I related to him. I feel like I related to the guy, the main guy, Rob, a lot. Like, I've had, just in college, it was just so many situationships. That's all they were. Where I'm like, oh, this guy really likes me. And then it's like, oh, no, he doesn't. And then... me at 36 is like, oh, this dude, nope, he doesn't love me. Oh, he likes some fake Instagram model bitch with ass shots, not me. Ah, yeah. I don't know, y'all. I just I'm just talking shit at this point, so I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, High Fidelity, that's a good movie. I mean, I'm a little salty, clearly. Like I thought I put some makeup on, and I was like, look, man, I want to go ahead and keep on with the schedule of me doing my podcast, especially now during the day where I'm not working. So this feels good. And it does feel good. I like the release, but all the shit I talked about was kind of rowling, like the Derek Chauvin shit and the Twin Cities shootings and all that. It's just like, ugh. Y'all niggas not tired of being fucking despicable motherfuckers yet? Like, goddamn. Man, I just see cops and I just get so fucking upset. Just, oh my God. Anyway. But yeah. So I saw this. It's kind of the same vein. I'm going into overtime now because I don't really know how to end that whole High Fidelity shit. Like, I'm watching it and I'm just like, oh, this shit's brutal, man. Like, we're all just sad people who refuse to resolve the issues before we get in relationships. We just go into the relationships as fragments, expecting the people that we end up with to complete us. It's sad. So, anyway, I saw this and this made me laugh. Your attraction to toxic men started when you chose Jodeci over Boyz II Men. And what's funny about that is them niggas were just as toxic. Shit. Hell, Wanye Morris, Mr. The Soft one, Mr. I'm going in my worst, I'm down on my knees. Yeah, that nigga, he was fucking Brandy. While he's singing duets with Brandy, talking about Broken Hearted, he's with Brandy while also with Adina Howard. And I noticed because I read about it because Adina Howard recently, it was like maybe a couple years ago, and she's like, yeah, I pretty much got blackballed from the music industry because the whole situation between Wanye, me, and Brandy, and I guess Adina fucked with Brandy hardcore. I don't know. But, yeah. Wanye was with Miss Adina Howard, Miss Freak Like Me, as well as Miss Cutie Pie Brandy. So, them niggas were toxic too. And this is not in the same vein of toxicity, but maybe it is, because if I keep watching any more of these fucking movies, my brain gonna feel like I just consumed something toxic. So Ben Falcone, he's a cute little nigga from Bridesmaids who was in the airplane scene, and he ended up being the U.S. Marshal, and Melissa McCartney was flirting with him the whole time. Well, they're a couple. They've been married for years, and all of the movies that Ben Falcone has written as well as directed with Melissa McCarthy as the lead have all been bad. Tammy, The Boss, Life of the Party, which I did not see because I saw Tammy in The Boss. And then recently, the most recent was Thunder Force with Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy, and I tried to get into it. It was cool for like a hot second, and there's some funny lines, because it's always going to be some funny lines with Melissa McCarthy, but I realize she flourishes when she doesn't do the movies that Ben Falcone does. Like, they always fall flat. Like, they're always flat. It's like drinking flat soda. Like, there's no effervescence in any of the films. There's nothing that pops. There's nothing that's bubbly. No, it's just I'm watching. I'm just like, who did this? Oh, Ben Falcone. That's why. And then all I did was look up. I was just like looking up all the movies. I was doing my own research. It's like, man, are all the movies like this that he does? And then the first thing that pops up is an article that says Melissa McCarthy needs to stop doing bad movies with her husband. And I'm like, oh, so it's not just me. I'm not just being a film elitist. Like, that's really what's happening. Shit's wild. But yeah. Can we just stop? Oh yeah, I randomly. So I was talking about racism and codedness and infrastructure and shit. I forgot to mention another thing, another relief as to why I'm glad I quit that fucking shit was because now shout out to my coworkers. I love y'all. Thank y'all, even though they're not listening, but thank y'all. The place that I work is fucking old school sundown town. Like every time I walk there, it just seems like my ancestors was like, okay, now we're gonna protect you now, but don't ever take martyr at night. And I never did. Man, I looked that shit up, and it was an article written about it like a year ago about the ghost of the racist past of that city. Racist as fuck. Like, and I'm not gonna tell you what part of town, but I will say that if the two words combined it's the name of a very old school women's makeup company as well as a computer company. All right. So anyways, yeah, that place racist as fuck. And then there was, like the current police chief killed an unarmed black man. And then you look at the Avondale police statistics and they're constantly arresting black people. It was such an eerie feel every time I worked there. Like, I'm just so glad that I don't work there anymore. Just racist as fuck. And then, when I did a comedy show there a year ago, all white people. It was so weird. So fucking weird. But I discovered something recently. I was listening to Watch God's podcast. Shout out to y'all. And they were talking about how the gold line used to be the yellow line and how they went under fire because the yellow line, it goes through Doraville, and a lot of Asian families live in there or near there. And it's like, damn, y'all niggas racist as fuck. So they renamed it the gold line. It's like, they just can't wait. Man, it's always some shit, man. Just like certain things that happen, like in Nashville. Like I always think of when they got rid of our version of Six Flags, or which was Opryland. And I talked about this so many times, but how they got rid of Opryland so they could have a fucking outlet mall. Never forget it. Anyway, before I go, kind of in the same vein as toxic musicians, Usher. Apparently he liked to pay strippers in Usher bucks. So y'all tell me, everybody, the audacity is at an all-time high. They out here wilding, man. Everybody's wilding. It's, yeah. So all that to say, just, oh yeah, like I said earlier, yeah, that's gonna be, y'all gonna have y'all thought boy summer. Y'all do it. Y'all have fun. I'll be in my room sleeping. I'm just gonna sleep through it all. Cause yeah, it's just too many motherfuckers out here who's just, and it's fair. We're in a pandemic, so I think it's unfair to us to even expect people to be of sound and stable mind at this point. So all that to say, man, we just gotta take care of each other, take care of ourselves first so we can take care of all of us. Cause because it's always gonna be some haters on some hater ass shit. It's always some niggas on hater shit. So what you gonna do about it? You just gotta keep it moving, baby. All right, yo, I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Like I said, book me. I'm free as a motherfucker. You need a host? Free as a motherfucker. Oh yeah, Girls Night Out. Keep your ears peeled. I got some shit finalized. Got a venue finalized. I just gotta promote now and get the lineup going. So, but yeah, it's on and popping, baby. And then yeah, just keep your ears peeled for all kinds of shit, cause I'm gonna be coming with the fire. And I don't have a show coming up this week, I don't think. And then I'll do another episode soon. All right, y'all stay black. Peace.